Up. So this is me doing a video on my phone, in completely original, not like any other larger comic book YouTubers at all, I swear. No, mostly it's because I'm just feeling really lazy tonight, and I'm going to bed immediately after I do this, but I at least wanted to get a video done because I didn't do one yesterday. So this is Weapon X number 12 by Greg Pak, and I don't know who that artist is. I'm not gonna lie, I only got this for the cover because, and this may be something of an unpopular opinion, I think this cover is dope as hell. With the nuke tattoo on every one of their faces, like, this looks really metal, and unfortunately the interior of the comic doesn't really live up to that, but given that it's written by Greg Pak, that's really not that much of a surprise. So, we go in here, and, yeah, there's the artist, Yildiray Cinar. Alright, I have no clue how to pronounce that name. So we have, Old Man Logan, who's, Wolverine, but not Wolverine. We have Domino, we have Sabretooth, we've got Lady Deathstrike, and we've got Warpath. So I have not been reading this series at all. This is the first issue of this series that I've read. I've seen a few videos at Diversity in Comics, and I think a couple other people have done on this series, and it did not look like something I'd be interested in, and it turns out it wasn't. But this cover, it's just so over the top. I love it. So it references some things that take place in the last arc. I guess, I don't know, they helped some guy out whose brother had been in trouble. I don't know, whatever. So we see them just hunting like an animal in Mexico. And then they just, that doesn't go anywhere. And so they're talking about what kind of job they want to do next. And then we get Domino. And it lost me from page 1 because I don't know much about the early to mid-90s X-Men. I know that X-Men, for a sustained period of time, was huge. And I know next to nothing about it. I can tell you everything about an obscure character like Zatanna Zatara, but I can't tell you a whole lot about early 90s X-Men books, even though those were selling easily 500,000 every single month. From what I know about Domino, she's very no-nonsense. She's very to the point, very unemotional. She's not really all that cutesy. She's just all about getting the job done. So this is her dialogue on only the second page. Whatever. I'm a mercenary, not a hunter. We've been hiding out too long. You guys are nearly healed up. We should do something fun. Like, rob a bank. And, she keeps going to this. Back to this bit, over and over again, throughout the issue. And this is where I just came to the conclusion that, Greg Pak should just stop writing dialogue altogether. Because the team dynamic here is just really off, completely. Like, Domino, I mean, she knows who these people are, and then Old Man Logan, Wolverine, I mean, I don't know, he's okay, but then we've got Sabretooth. It's like, why is Sabretooth putting up with these people? Marvel's doing this weird thing where they're trying to reform Sabretooth, even though he's always been portrayed as a vicious, sociopathic murderer. At least in Iron Fist, there's a kind of good reason for him to work with Danny Rand, but here, why would he stick around with these people? Why wouldn't he have just skedaddled at the end of the last arc? It doesn't make any sense. So here's Domino on again about the rob a bank thing. Lady Deathstrike is just sitting, she does nothing the whole issue, basically. And then, so they're still debating. We're 2.5 pages in at this point. And then they talk about, or Warpath gets a signal on a cell, and it's from the guy they helped last issue. And this is what he says about it. Wolverine is surprised that Warpath would still have this guy's number, and Warpath says, he's an indigenous man trying to keep his family alive. So, hell yes, I gave him my number. He's an indigenous man, just like how Warpath is a Native American. Like, I can't say that for sure wouldn't happen, but just the idea that, well, they're the same race, therefore they just immediately get along. It's like, this is something that we see over and over again in SJW books. And Greg Pak, this is where social media becomes really tough, because if you follow Greg Pak on Twitter, probably about 90% of his tweets are political in some way. Like, he has a whole bunch of tweets where he's trying to get his followers to pressure Congress to pass some kind of bill or another. I think right now his Twitter handle is actually like the number you're supposed to call to get in touch with your representatives. It's kind of weird. And he's always going on about racial politics, especially Asian American representation. It's like, what are you supposed to... For one thing, Asian American, what does that even mean? Because you get called racist if you lump all Asians together. But then if you're an Asian person, you can say that, you could talk about Asian American representation. Plus, Asian Americans are doing fine. Like, this whole idea that I can almost see that breaking stereotypes is sort of important for races that have a negative stereotype, but Asians, not only is their stereotype that they're very smart, but they live that in real life. That stereotype is based in reality. But anyway, so yeah, this isn't about Asian stereotypes, obviously. This is about Native American ones, and just somehow that the fact that Warpath is Native American and this other guy, where is he? This guy right here is Native American, that they would just automatically get along. I'm not going to say for sure that I've never seen that happen before, but it's just dumb. Also, like, when I saw this panel here, I saw this woman first before I saw this guy, and I immediately profiled them as having the same body type, so I thought this guy was a woman at first. So somehow there's this little Central American republic that, for whatever reason, they have a large mutant population, and the local Generalissimo has called in this mercenary group that all takes the same pills that Nuke does. So Nuke is kind of an obscure Daredevil villain. The most exposure that he's gotten is in, of all things, the Jessica Jones TV show, where he was the other male villain, because Jessica Jones is basically a Lifetime original show. And you actually see him in the show taking red, white, and blue pills, and these guys do the same thing. Now, I don't remember much about Nuke, but I thought he was just a mercenary. I didn't think there was anything, like, special about him, that he was just a mercenary that took drugs and got stronger for a little bit of time. So they're just talking some more about how they maybe ought to go save these guys, or maybe not, because, once again, most of these guys are mercenaries, so these guys need to get paid, and Domino is still going on about the freaking bank job. And it's just... why? I mean, most of these... So Domino, Sabretooth, and Lady Deathstrike, I mean, those are all... Deathstrike and Sabretooth are definitely bad guys. Domino's always walked the line. Old Man Logan, usually a good guy, but he's got some dark elements to him. And Warpath, I actually don't know much about Warpath. I guess he's the only real superhero. So then we see this guy, and even though this guy is trying to commit genocide against his own people, he can't help but take a swipe at America. And so it turns out that they're about to kill the mutants, which I have no clue how they managed to not kill the mutants here, because it looks like they are just laying into them. But somehow those mutants that they were shooting here, they just simply capture them, and they're holding them up here. And they say that they're going to fight back against the nukes and the local army, but instead this Weapon X team comes in. And I'm not going to lie, I actually, it was really stupid up until this point. There was a lot of racial politics, there was a lot of anti-American politics, there was a lot of just weird and inexplicable dialogue and character interactions, but once people stopped talking, it actually picked up. It would have been kind of cool and kind of appropriate to see these guys break out on their own rather than needing these amoral mercenaries to do it for them. But, you can see that you get some pretty solid action here. Sabretooth kind of... Stop it, phone. Sabretooth kind of goes out on his own, He goes to where they are manufacturing the nuke pills, and they're only producing the red ones. Nuke is supposed to have blue and whites as well, but they're only producing the red ones. And the nukes have gone completely crazy, and they're shooting everybody, including the soldiers that they are supposed to be helping. So finally, Sabretooth gets to the plant, and he gets to like the back room, and a voice calls to him from behind a cell, and it turns out that they're using the original nuke as sort of the template. So, I don't know, like, 2/3 of this book was terrible and cringy and stupid and had all the tropes that SJW Marvel is known for, but this last half, where it finally just stops doing all that and gets down to the action, that's not bad. Like, if this was all the issue had been, if it was just these guys taking on an army of nukes for the entire issue, that would have been pretty cool. Instead, you can't help but get... Where is it? You can't help but get the anti-American swipe in. You can't help but get the gratuitous racial thing in. You can't get the cringy dialogue and weird treatment of female characters that they have nowadays in. It's like, just focus on the things that people want to see and not this stuff. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be getting the next issue just because I know it's going to be the same thing. 2/3 of something that kind of make me great, and then maybe 1 or 2 cool pages. Oh, I didn't even read this. Whatever. These have all been stupid. And that cover is not nearly cool enough to justify buying it just solely on the strength of the cover. But anyway, tell me what you thought. Tell me if you agree with this. Tell me if you hate Greg Pak too. In any case, this is Unranked Chevron signing off.